The things that you're about to hear are repulsive, but I want to keep them for record because I want this as blatant evidence of gender discrimination against black males. R. Kelly has a guilty verdict announced against him around about every month, and his crying, pathetic face is fanned and radiated all across media. And so did Bill Cosby and Deshaun Watson and just so many other African-American men. And Tiffany Haddish, who now currently braces the cover of Cosmopolitan magazine, along with another comedian in Hollywood, is having serious accusations levied against him. And this falls underneath the same thing that I say about Charlie Sheen, the Catholic Church, and many, I'm going to just keep it honest, white men in general, at how you have true protected classes and genders in the country. And when they do these things, like the 300,000 cases of child violation in the Catholic Church, and it never gets talked about. As a matter of fact, it gets wrapped up in a movie like Father Sue, starring Mark Wahlberg. Those are the definition of true protected classes. Tiffany Haddish, remember, before you listen to what you're about to listen to, fair use, fair use, she's alleged to have done all these things and currently embraces the cover of Cosmopolitan magazine and is currently being talked about as early as August the 11th of 2022. Like it ain't nothing. This stuff is not being mentioned. Black girls rocking. Everything is popping. She got this, that, and the third going on in the future. This is Tiffany. She's great. She's magnificent. And she's all good. But this, what you're about to hear, are what some people allege her to have done, along with Ari Spears. Listen closely.
Into it, let me share my old nasty screen here, bruh. How's it going? Okay. Now, this is courtesy of the Daily Beast Girl. Now, we got quite a bit to read here, so you guys put on your listening ears, okay? Comedians Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears accused of sexual abuse, okay? A Jane Doe and her younger brother allege in a new lawsuit that the comics recruited them into performing inappropriate sexually suggestive acts and sketches when they were minors. During their childhood, Jane Doe and her younger brother say they called Tiffany Haddish Auntie Tiff. The comedian had met their mother through the comedy circuit and used to refer to the siblings as her niece and nephew. But in a lawsuit filed pro se on Monday, in which Jane is an anonymous plaintiff on behalf of both herself and her brother, who is a minor, the siblings allege that Haddish and her fellow comic, Ari Spears, recruited each of them to perform inappropriate acts on camera when they were children. Jane Doe, now 22, and her younger brother, John, now 15, have adopted pseudonyms due to their respective ages at the time of the allegations. Jane, who is also John's legal guardian, is the plaintiff in the lawsuit, both individually and on her minor brother's behalf. The siblings' complaint, which means Haddish and Mad TV alum Spears as defendants, centered on two alleged incidents in which Haddish and Spears allegedly encouraged one of the siblings to perform sexually suggestive acts on camera while underage. Representatives for Spears and Haddish did not respond to the Daily Beast request for a comment, even though both of their reps have since issued a response, and I will get into that as well, you guys. Jane was 14 years old when her alleged video shoot took place, and John was only 7. Their mother alleges that she and Haddish met through comedy and bonded over a shared source of strife. Quote, "We were both going through a divorce," the mother told the Daily Beast. Quote, "Messy, messy, messy, messy divorces. We just got really, really super, super close." According to the lawsuit, Haddish called the family for every birthday and every Christmas. The siblings' mother noted that for years, Haddish reliably checked in, whether that be from a movie set or overseas. In the summer of 2013, when Jane was 14 years old, the lawsuit states that she attended a comedy camp where Haddish appeared as a guest speaker. Around that time, Haddish allegedly told the child that she found a perfect role for her very own commercial. Neither Jane nor her mother knew what the shoot would entail, according to the lawsuit. Only Haddish and Spears, who was also on hand to produce the video, are said to have known the plot. The clip Spears and Haddish asked Jane to watch in the recording booth allegedly seemed innocuous at first, if a little strange. A group of co-eds were arguing over a Subway sandwich, but then the co-eds began eating the sandwich in a suggestive manner from opposite ends, moaning and making sexual noises as they both ate the sandwich in a manner that stimulated the act of fellatio, per the lawsuit. So Jane is alleging that she was forced to watch this very sexually suggestive innuendo video by Tiffany and Haddish of two people eating a Subway sandwich in a very sexual and sensual manner, you guys. The complaint claims that Spears told Jane, quote, to mimic what she had seen on the screen, including the noises precisely like what she heard throughout the video. The 14-year-old, who was allegedly nervous and disgusted, fell silent until Haddish returned to the room. The lawsuit claims, quote, Haddish verbally explained what was expected of plaintiff Jane Doe and then showed plaintiff Jane Doe how to give fellatio, including movements, noises, moaning, and groaning. The lawsuit states, quote, at that point, Jane told the Daily Beast, quote, I knew 100% what they wanted out of me. The lawsuit describes Spears allegedly looking on while a physically, emotionally, and mentally uncomfortable Jane received this instruction. Quote, I tried to mimic what they wanted me to mimic, but it still came out just super uncomfortable, Jane told the Daily Beast. I knew when I left the booth that I didn't complete what they wanted me to do. Haddish paid Jane $100, the lawsuit claims, before sending her home. At the time, Jane said she tried to shrug off what happened. I didn't confide to my mom. I didn't confide to nobody else about how weird I felt at that moment, she said. A year later, Haddish allegedly approached the children's mother with a similar pitch, recruiting Jane's little brother John for another video. Although the comedian allegedly told the family John would be filming a sizzle reel for Nickelodeon, the suit alleges the 7-year-old wound up starring in a video posted on Funny or Die and other online platforms titled, quote, Through a Pedophile's Eyes. Oh my God, you guys.
Okay, so we'll just stop it right there. And remember, when Rashad Jamal and Brother Polite, Deshaun Watson, Bill Cosby, man, the list just goes on. I could sit here and go name after name after name. Whenever these guys are accused of this type of stuff, the only thing that there's needed is an accusation. That's it. That's it. Just be accused. That's it. That's all. Just throw the accusation up and Negro, you disappeared. Now, it was the same thing with the other guy I just did the video about. I don't feel like talking about it now. But you can file this one under the true definition of protected classes of people. Because as of now, Tiffany Haddish is literally is on the cover of Cosmopolitan. They're doing these interviews with her where she's getting to promote her brand, and they're selling her lifestyle and her accomplishments and her upcoming events and aspirations and goals and dreams, the whole nine. Now, let me say this about the things that are being alleged. This stuff is very random. It's John Doe and Jane Doe. Big time people deal with this type of stuff all the time. But I'm going to keep it real with you. they always say that, man, like whenever this happened with Bow Wow and Nick Cannon a few weeks ago, whenever you had people just coming up out the woodwork saying this and that, and when Bow Wow and Nick Cannon tried to take the high road and didn't respond to it, everybody's response is to pretty much say, oh, well, they're not responding, so it has to be true. They're not defending themselves because it's true. That Bow Wow is gay and Nick Cannon got AIDS from a Instagram model, yada, 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 yada. And they will fan negativity about those men and their images all over the place. But in this type of situation, these type of accusations, which could be filed, because the key thing is this. I kept hearing told to the Daily Beast. I want to hear filed in U.S. Circuit Court. See, I know the language to listen for. Until you hear filed in U.S. Circuit Court, because it's got to go before a grand jury and this, that, and the third, it ain't real. But if you start to, I'm going to do a little bit of homework to see if this has officially been filed in court. Because if this has been filed in court, and if they're in a process, even if they settle it, man, please, this woman and this dude with this type of stuff on them to have this covered up and yet to have so much light put upon one gender whenever they do it. Let's just say we. Yeah, it really does speak a volume. I mean, it really does speak volumes. It really does. I'm out, man. I am out.